Mate, I am excited. As you can see behind me, the Tiftuf is starting to green up, so it's time to start getting into some spring jobs. Gonna dethatch this today. We'll scalp it back, get rid of all the dead stuff from the top, help it breathe, get it ready for springtime, get some fert out, and get this thing lush and green in the next couple of weeks. So let's get stuck into it. Yo mate, what up? Welcome to another lawn tip vid. So as you can see, lots and lots of green growth coming back in the Tiftuf, the couch grass just here. So frosts have basically stopped now, soil temps are starting to come up, blossoms everywhere, and the couch is starting to come out of dormancy. It looks a lot better than it did 2 weeks ago. Man, 2 weeks ago this thing was white and looked like it was dead. So go to show you how quickly it does come out of dormancy, which is why I got Tiftuf in this area, is because of the high gibberellic acid that it produces, which allows it to come out of dormancy just a little bit quicker. It does grow quicker in the warmer season, which is fine for me because our temps don't get super high, but yeah, great grass for our region here. A couple of weeds in a few places, but today we're going to be getting rid of a lot of this old dead material in the top. A lot of that's just thatch from the previous season, also from the winter time, just from like muck and stuff from the whole season. So we want to scalp this back so we get rid of all this mess on the top. Now this is something I always do at the start of the season. You can do it before it starts greening up. You can do it like in the middle of August if you really wanted to, but I like to see a bit of a color before I go in and do it, so I know that it's actually growing. Now doing this is going to get some oxygen down to the roots also, because it's going to move a lot of that barrier that is there, so it's going to help this green up even quicker. It may look nasty for a week or two because we're scalping it, but it's really going to help push a lot more growth and oxygen and heat into this lawn. So it's not completely out of dormancy, as you can see. Like, there's still brown patches everywhere. But we're also going to use this as a height of cut reset. So currently it's sitting up at around 20 mil. I want to be mowing this regularly down towards 12, 13, 14 millimeters. So we're also doing a height of cut reset today. So we'll drop it back to 10 mil at the start of the season, so we can rise it back up again to about that 12, 13, 14 mil. Depends what the sweet spot is going to be and how I can keep on top of it. We'll be using plant growth regulators, but we want to be realistic with an area this size. So let's go get my 2653B, scalp this down, and then we're going to get some fert out to help push some growth. Because as I've told you guys, this season, I want this thing going gangbusters early so I can start getting the clippings from it and the scarifyings and the chaff from when we do grooming or scarifying, and spreading it out across this area behind me and turning this all into Tiftuf. Hopefully have it all done by the end of the season. So we'll start doing that. Once this greens back up, we'll be into it. Now you can do this at the start of the season with any grass type, believe it or not. Just don't scalp too low if you're going with buffalo. I'd only squeeze it down to 10 mil at the lowest, or at least leave some leaf there. You don't want to be cutting into the stolons, the above ground runners, and getting rid of them, because there goes your lawn. But if you've got cooch, zoysia, kikuyu, buffalo, anything along those lines, feel free to scalp back at the start of the season to get yourself kicked off for the year and get rid of all that dead material from a long winter. You can do it with ryegrass and also tall fescue and any other cool season grass. Just make sure you don't scalp it back to complete dirt. Leave a little bit of leaf there. Like, even if you leave 5 millimeters of leaf, it's going to be okay. I've got a feeling it's going to take so much off. I'm going to have to come back with the catcher and pick up a lot of these clippings. We'll see though. We're going to go from green to very brown too, which will be sad, but it'll be worth it. Well, as you can see, we have definitely scalped it. And that's going to look more scalped when we go over it another direction. But we're scalping in here into the crowns. There's still actually quite a bit of leaf there. So I may have to figure out how to set that mow a little bit lower, because that's actually on the lower setting. And there's still a bit of leaf there. It might look different when we go the opposite direction. We'll have a look, but we're definitely getting a scalp out of that. Lots of yellow in there. Still a lot greener than I thought it would be. Like there's still a lot of green growth in there. I'd love to get a little bit lower than this. So you may be figuring out a different way to scalp it down. I'm not doing it by hand with a cylinder mower because this whole area all up is about 2,000 square meters, which, bro, that'll be painful. But let's keep going. We'll go a few different directions, see how much we can take off. I had to call it quits yesterday afternoon, but I gave it a quadruple cut and there is so much leaf left over that I have to go pick up now with the catcher. So we're gonna do that this morning. So we definitely need to remove that so it doesn't cause issues in the long run to prevent the grass coming back. So if you have a catcher on your mower when you're doing your initial scalp, do that. Otherwise come through and pick up the catcher or blow it off. Whatever you can do, do it. This is a huge area, so I'm gonna get the ride on with the catcher on the back of it. My JD tractor. Well, it's taking a lot longer than I thought it would. I already spent 8 hours on this job. It's ridiculous. I did have to get fuel halfway in between, so that was a problem, but you can see all this material, look at off here. I've spread it here for the thought that if we get a bit of rain, if I keep the irrigation up to this spot, a bit of that will actually take and it will start to turn into Tiftuf because there is some runners in there and some stolons from above the ground from when I actually scalped it and then picked it up with that catcher. It may not take, but I might as well chuck it there and see what happens. Not going to be harmful at all since we are trying to get this to spread across. Generally, you'd actually want to scarify and get out some of the below ground and above ground rhizomes and stolons and then plant those, whereas this is mostly clippings and a little bit of stolons in there as well from the top. So it may not take at all, but we'll treat it like it will. And generally I would top dress over top of it as well, just to help keep the moisture in there, but we'll give this a crack. Anyway, that's all done, picked it all up. It looks a ton better across the area. So now we're gonna get some fertilizer out to get this thing kicking back into gear. So as I mentioned, we're gonna get some granular fertilizer out. So 2 kilos per 100 square meters of Dominate. The reason I'm using Dominate today is to kick this thing in the guts because of the high percentage of nitrogen. It's a 2818. I almost forgot what it was for a second then. So bit of potassium in there, not very much phosphorus, but a lot of nitrogen and microbes as well to help stimulate some growth in this area here. Soil temps are warm enough now, looking about 15, 16, 17 degrees for our soil temps, which is ideal for getting our granular fertilizer out. So we'll do that now. Make sure we water this in. I could leave it a couple of hours until tonight, but I might as well water it while I'm here. And then we should see this thing start to grow in the next couple of weeks. I'm excited, man. I'm excited to start mowing this again and getting this area looking schmick. You can find this at my website. This is my Lawn Tips Dominate product, only available through my website. all done and dusted, sprinklers on, fertilizer out, ready for the Tiftuf to kick in for the season. Going to be so good. Really, really excited for it. So as I said, once this grows back, we're straight into doing our sprigging or our chaffing and extending it out across the whole area behind us there. Now this season I'm not going to do a renovation on the Tiftuf. I will do top dressing. I just won't be doing core aeration because it only got laid in December, so it's just over 6 months old, or 8 months old, sorry, nearly 9 months. I don't generally give it its first proper reno until it's 12 months old because it doesn't need it. If you find you get really, really bad levels and bad drainage, then sure, you can go ahead and do it, but doesn't really need it here. The soil's still soft underneath. The levels aren't crazy bad, but I can top dress without aerating throughout the season in the low spots. It'll be more isolated top dressing than top dressing the whole area. Thanks guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully you learned something from that video. Make sure to get your granular fert out now if you got some renos coming the next few weeks, so you can start pushing some growth into your lawn a week or two before renovation. And let's get this season started. I'm excited. All right guys, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.